Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Roy Keane has laid into Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes, questioning his leadership and accusing him of speaking in sound bites. Fernandes fronted up after United were thrashed by Newcastle on Sunday, with Sandro Tonali, Harvey Barnes and Bruno Guimaraes all scoring in a 4-1 win for the Toon. Speaking to Sky Sports after the game, Fernandes admitted he gets frustrated with his teammates because he knows how good they can be and urged the club to turn their attention to the second leg of their Europa League quarter-final clash with Lyon on Thursday. "My teammates, I only get frustrated with them because I know how good they can be," Fernandes claimed. "I know how tough it is to represent this club. They want so much to give to the club, to win, because they know how much they will be remembered if they win something with this club. On Thursday, we go forward. We create a big atmosphere in our stadium. We need to be on the front foot and give everything we have because we want to get to the semi-final. In tough moments, we have done great performances against the biggest clubs. In decisive games when everyone is watching. We are Man United. We have to step up and do everything to win the game." However, Keane took issue with Fernandes' comments and claimed there is no meaning to his words. To be fair to Bruno Fernandes, he fronts up. "But to me, it's just sound bites now," Keane told Sky Sports in response to the interview. He was talking about his teammates and belief. But what about his right-back Dalot, who didn't put a leg out to tackle? "I hope he is pulling him in the dressing room because he keeps talking about having belief in his teammates, but real good teammates put demands on each other. When I listen to Bruno, I have question marks about his leadership. He certainly isn't getting any help around him. It must be tough playing in that midfield, when the expectation is on him, because that's unfair on him. But when he's doing his chats about supporters and this, to me it's just sound bites. There is no meaning to it. I'm not sure this United group are an honest group. The best players put demands on me. That's what real good teammates do. These aren't teammates, they are bluffers." Keane's comments came after he accused United of being a physically and mentally weak team. "That's 14 league games they've lost now," Keane fumed. "We keep making excuses for this team. There are not enough players who can run in the team. I don't think there are players who want to run. Not enough of a goal threat. You've got to dig deep, even when you're up against it, and they didn't do that in the second half. We spoke at half-time about the big test was to come in the second half." Looking at Newcastle, they're outstanding, they're used to winning big games now. They've got into a really good habit. United are the opposite. I think United now are physically and mentally a weak team. Manchester United believe they can hand Ruben Amorim a £200 million war chest this summer by cashing in on players he is prepared to sacrifice to finance an Old Trafford rebuild. As many as 9 members of Amorim's first-team squad could depart the club in a bid to give the Portuguese a blank canvas after another season of struggle in the Premier League. And as well as raising finance through incoming transfer fees, United's money men reckon they would also save up to £80 million a year on wages. The Reds are also ready to listen to offers for Casemiro, Andre Onana and Alejandro Garnacho, while Kobbie Mainoo's future remains in doubt over the club's failure to meet his wage demands to sign a new contract. Both Casemiro and Onana are expected to generate further interest from the Saudi Pro League and could raise £20 million apiece. While £50 million rated Garnacho is once again on Napoli's radar, and Chelsea are monitoring Mainoo's situation. With Christian Eriksen set to depart when his contract expires in the summer, United are looking to back Amorim to the hilt by moulding the squad to fit his playing philosophy. A club insider said, "It may be a case of swallowing big losses on what was paid for Sancho, Antony, Casemiro and Onana, but there is an acceptance that the manager must be given the players he needs to make his system work." Offloading some of the biggest earners at the club will also create some wriggle room for the necessary rebuild. Rashford and Casemiro both bank in excess of £325,000 a week, while Sancho is on £250,000 a week. Antony and Eriksen pull £150,000 a week, and Onana is on £120,000 a week. Co-owner Sir Jim Radcliffe believes getting United's annual £172 million wage bill under control is vital for the long-term health of the club. The Reds hope that Rashford's resurrection at Aston Villa will either lead to the Midlands club meeting their £50 million valuation or flush out interest from elsewhere for a player who is back in the England squad. Real Betis have had an offer to extend Antony's loan deal by a further 12 months rebuffed, but the Brazilian winger has sparkled under former Manchester City boss Manuel Pellegrini, and the Spanish club may have the funds to make his move permanent if their excellent form translates into qualification for the Champions League. Chelsea have the option to either buy Sancho for £30 million after taking the former England winger on loan for the season, or pay £5 million in compensation to get out of the agreement. Either way, Sancho has no future in Manchester, and former club Borussia Dortmund are watching developments. Malacia, on loan at PSV Eindhoven, is also up for sale. It's unlikely that United will countenance the sale of both Garnacho and Mainu at the same time. But profit and sustainability rules mean they would get maximum value from allowing one more homegrown player to leave alongside Rashford. Napoli were prepared to pay £35 million for the 20-year-old in January and retain a strong interest. Garnacho has lost his place in Argentina's squad and may view a move to Serie A as the best way to boost his chances of going to the World Cup, given Napoli are currently fighting for the title and are on course to qualify for the Champions League. Stockport-born Mainu, 19, became a fan's favourite when he broke through last season to score the winning goal in the FA Cup final before starring for England at the Euros. He has suffered with injuries this season, but if an agreement over a new contract doesn't materialise, then that would tempt United to cash in on Chelsea's interest. Andre Onana has been axed for Manchester United's Premier League showdown at Newcastle today. Onana will miss the encounter at St James's Park after being taken out of the firing line by boss Ruben Amorim, following his midweek blunders in United's 2-2 draw at Lyon. Cameroon international Onana was left at home when United made the trip to Newcastle yesterday, with deputy Altay Bayindir set to make his Premier League debut against the Toon Army. Onana was at fault for both of Lyon's goals when United were held in the first leg of their Europa League quarter-final first leg tie, but is likely to be recalled for Thursday's return leg at Old Trafford unless Bayindir does enough to keep his place. Although Amorim gave Onana a vote of confidence in the immediate aftermath of the draw in Lyon, in which the 29-year-old conceded a 95th-minute equaliser, the United coach has decided to allow his troubled number one to clear his head today and miss the game. Onana has been dealing with off-field issues, with his wife the victim of a street robbery last week that left the family needing 24-hour protection. Melanie Kamayu was targeted by a thief who stole her £62,000 Hermes bag and Rolex watch as she got out of her car to meet a friend for dinner in Alderley Edge in Cheshire. Despite the off-field trauma, Onana continued to play for United, although his performances have drawn criticism this season. Former United midfielder Nemanja Matic branded Onana one of the worst keepers in United's history, after the keeper said Amorim's side were way better than Lyon in the build-up to the game. Onana has been dealing with off-field issues, with his wife the victim of a street robbery last week that left the family needing 24-hour protection. Melanie Kamayu was targeted by a thief who stole her £62,000 Hermes bag and Rolex watch as she got out of her car to meet a friend for dinner in Alderley Edge in Cheshire. Despite the off-field trauma, Onana continued to play for United, although his performances have drawn criticism this season. Former United midfielder Nemanja Matic branded Onana one of the worst keepers in United's history after the keeper said Amorim's side were way better than Lyon in the build-up to the game. Onana hit back by saying that, unlike Matic, he had won a trophy at United, the FA Cup last season, with victory over Manchester City at Wembley. Turkey keeper Bayindir returned to the United squad at Nottingham Forest earlier this month after a 9-game absence through injury. All 7 of his 7 previous appearances have come in domestic cup competitions and Europa League, but he will now make his Premier League debut.